welcome back to the channel. We're Meg and Morgs, and in today's video we have just left Perth. So we've made our way up to the Nambung National Park. It took us about 2.5 hours, and we've come to the Pinnacles Desert where we're going to do the Desert Discovery Drive. So we're just starting it now. It's like a 4-kilometer loop drive, I believe. Usually it's $17 per car, but because we've got the Parks Pass, we didn't have to pay. But yeah, although it's like a pretty interesting terrain.
Enjoying the drive. It's well tight here. Better than Fraser Island though, isn't it, Meg? So this was another place where having the National Parks Pass covers you and gets you in for, obviously not for free, but you don't have to pay, so it would usually be $17. Which,
if you don't have the park pass, I would still highly recommend you pay and come and do it, because it's such a unique environment. Like, I've not seen anything like it.
Definitely. So
definitely worth a stop.
But if you're in West Australia for a long time, maybe you think you're going to visit like over 10 national parks, for example, it's $135 for the National Parks Pass.
And you can split it like with a friend's number plate as well.
So, you know, could be well worth it. Alright, let's work our way finding our way out. We've driven about 25 minutes down the road to Jurien Bay.
Yes. It's really popular here to swim with like sea lions, but we're not doing that. We're saving our snorkeling for a bit further north. But yeah, we still thought it was worth coming, having a look and stretching our legs. If I got it on camera, but an emu just sprinted across the road in front of the car.
Oh, just what we need. We had a diversion as well, so it's done us an extra like 50 k's off on this like pretty skinny road of like 110 kilometres, and that emu had to run across in front of us as well. We've just been driving since we stopped at Jurien Bay. We didn't see any seals either, but just before we got to Geraldton, we've stopped off at the Leaning Tree.
This is how we feel after the first day back on the road.
After driving for 6 hours. But Megan, you said that it's because of the wind. Yeah,
there's quite a lot of trees in this area which are all like
bendy
on a wonk, aren't they?
Yes, technical term.
From the wind.
I'll show you the sign and then it will probably have a bit more information. Good morning. So for our first night back on the road, Megan and I slept pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, we did.
So we stayed at, on Wikicamps, it was like the Fig Tree Crossing rest area just outside of Geraldton. But I think on Google Maps it was slightly different. Like, I think it was like Stanley Creek rest area or something.
And that's like a 15-minute drive from Geraldton.
Yeah.
So we're going to fill up petrol while it's still a decent price. Stock up on any last few bits that we need, and then the plan is to head to Kalbari National Park.
After a short drive under sunny skies, we made it to our first stop of the day at Hut Lagoon. Just had a stop off at Hut Lagoon or the Pink Lake, depending on what you sort of refer to it as.
It's the most pink lake we've seen so far.
It is, and we've always been to places because of how we've like arranged the trip to be in places where the weather's good, or like the drier time of year. obviously a lot of the water in that lake has evaporated, as you'll see from the clips I'll put on. So the majority of the lake wasn't pink, but we did hear from someone on our Instagram that basically if you send the drone up and get like a higher perspective of it, it does look a lot more pink than if you were to take a picture at like the level of the water, which it did. So it was the most, like Megan said, the most pink lake of pink lakes that we've seen. So it's like a semi-success. And now we're sort of only a short drive away now from Kalbari National Park. Again, it's like one of those national parks where you have to pay an entry fee. I think there's like a gate sort of thing that you have to pass through, show your national parks pass, etc. So again, having that national parks pass is a good thing to have if you're sort of doing multiple national parks. So yeah, we won't have to pay any fees, and there's a couple of spots here that we want to do. There's like a couple of hikes, like the Z Bend
and Nature's Window,
and then there's like a skywalk as well. We've been warned as well that the flies are particularly bad. The hosts at the pet sit that we just did, they were up sort of this way recently and said that the flies are pretty bad. So we bought our fly nets.
We bought them from Bunnings, and they're only $6 each, because we heard if like you wait until you actually need them, they're obviously more expensive.
We just stopped off in Kalbari and we went to the visitor centre, who then sent us to the next door to the library to get our updated parks pass printed off with our new registration on. And then it was about a half an hour drive into the national park. No, actually probably a little bit less actually. About 15 minutes into the national park. There's a little like checkpoint bit like there usually is. We just showed our new parks pass. And then now we're driving in towards the skywalk for the first stop. So we're going to do the skywalk, then there's another little walk nearby, and then we're going to do like the Z Bend trail. Yeah, so it's $17 if you don't have a parks pass. So I mean, if you're just doing this, then it would probably work out to be quite a good deal, really. You know, because it's like per car. So I mean, if there's like you and like obviously you fill the back with all your mates and stuff, it's still quite cheap. But yeah, it's nice to have the parks pass because you can just turn up to these things, show it, or go through and not have to faff around with paying for anything. So yeah, that's good. We're heading off to the first stop now. This is our life now for the foreseeable when we're getting out of the car and fly head nets.
They really do help though.
Yeah, I feel much better because like it doesn't really matter if they're on like your back. They like sit on your back, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, with this, it keeps them off your face because I think they're trying to get into like bits where there's moisture.
But yeah, that skywalk was nice. Loads of nice views. Definitely worth a stop.
Oh yeah, definitely worth a stop. But yeah, it's just a beautiful landscape, and like in the middle of the desert, you don't expect to sort of see like a big gorge cut out by water. Of course, it sort of like comes out of nowhere. So.
There's a cafe here as well, so if you are wanting to stop, that will be quite nice.
It'll be a nice place to have a sit and a drink.
But yeah, if you come in, bring a fly net.
Definitely, and
you won't regret it.
And if you come to this area like after the rains, of course, you'd be able to see this when there's the river flowing down in its full force, as well as obviously getting to see Hut Lagoon when it's like as pink as it could be.
Yeah.
So we've driven, you're going to have to get used to this. This is terrible. Looks absolutely awful. You're going to have to, get used to us wearing these. But yeah, look at like my arm.
They're needed though, because the people who haven't got them on are like walking like this.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, look at Megan's back. You keep walking.
Oh god.
Oh, it's not that bad actually at the moment. But I did take a video earlier of it being terrible. But yeah, it just keeps them off your face and that. We're at the Nature's Window loop walk. It says about half an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the thing is it's like 26 degrees or something at the moment, which for here is like cold, and there's like shade and like the clouds and stuff. Whereas normally, like...
Let me show him your backpack.
Okay. How is it?
Yeah, it is quite bad.
Now at the Z Bend lookout. As you can see, it's sort of clouded over a bit above us, which isn't necessarily a bad thing really.
No, still lots of flies though.
It said also, which was interesting, in Kalbari town, say, the temperature in the park in comparison will be sort of like a load warmer. So
yeah.
It said like if it's like 40 degrees in Kalbari town, it would be like 50 degrees or something in the park.
And it was 21 when we were there earlier, but it's about 26 here.
So yeah, interesting. I'm not 100% sure why that would be, but just the effects of being in the desert, I guess. But yeah, we're back with the fly masks on. It feels a little bit more normal now.
We're doing the Z Bend lookout, which is 1.2 kilometres return. Said it should take around an hour.
But yeah, it's pretty flat and stuff. So, well, actually, we're going downhill. Yeah. It'll be fun on the way back.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the walk. It probably took us like 10 minutes of down.
Yeah.
So back will probably take longer.
And the sun's just come out, which is great. So
but it's nice, stunning.
Oh, it's
so
beautiful.
nice.
If you come again when it's a bit wetter, I reckon it'll be even more beautiful, all the water running down here.
Yeah. But yeah, highly recommend.
We're back now in the car from our walk. We managed to not get any flies in the car this time as well, which was nice.
Yeah, we're getting used to it. Also, it only took half an hour for that return walk. And the signs were saying 1 hour, so like don't be put off.
Yeah, and that was including like having quite a bit of time down at the bit, taking some pictures and stuff, which was good. So yeah, it didn't take us too long. And now we're heading to Hawks Head. That's the next stop, sort of like on the way back to the main like West Coast highway. But yeah, it's been lovely in the park so far. We've really enjoyed it. Just pulled into Hawks Head. It was just a little bit further down the road. At the moment, I was going to say we've got the whole place to ourselves. Literally, someone just pulled in. But yeah, I think it's like a lookout area here, and they've got some good toilet facilities. Are they drop toilets, Meg?
Yeah.
Drop toilets. All right, but they've got some sinks. We're just going to have to stop for some lunch here. Not sure how we're going to. I think we'll have to sit in the car and eat. But yeah, good facilities and somewhere to wash your hands. Excuse the fly infestation. That'll probably be flies all over the camera, but we've just seen these. I presume they're like kangaroo footprints, but look how big they are. That's like my hand. Next to that, and there's the kangaroo, and then there's another one here.
Morgan's just making dinner, but we drove a couple of hours to the Billabong Roadhouse, which is the free camp where we're staying tonight. There's free toilets. Apparently there's free showers, Morgan said. So I might check that out in the morning and see if we can have a shower. That would be a nice way to start the day. But yeah, the flies are just about to calm down. So we're looking forward to taking these fly nets off.
After a beautiful sunset and a terrible night's sleep at the Billabong Roadhouse, we then continued north up the road towards the Shark Bay Peninsula and further on towards Monkey Mia. When we got there and paid our entry fee of $15 per person, we were greeted by this beautiful turtle and then saw another one when we walked out onto the jetty. the experience was so great and the beach was so beautiful that we decided that we just had to spend the night. That's fine.
Yeah.
Some nice guests at this campsite, haven't we, Meg?
They're horrid.
That's great.
Oh my god. Excuse me. This is horrid.
This is not the one, is it?
How'd you get them to like bugger off?
I think you just have to run at them.
There's literally 9 emus now.
Yeah,
which,
so,
if you're scared of birds like me, this might not be the best camp spot for you. Because they are quite terrifying and they're not scared of humans.
yeah, so we've gone from being afraid of the flies yesterday to being scared for our lives today.
Yeah. It's not good. Get rid of it.
I'm not. Honestly, man.
Oh my god.
After spending the night at the Roadhouse, we then drove about 2 hours, I think it was probably exactly
Yeah.
2 hours, up to Monkey Mire, because we knew that there was some dolphins that are commonly found on the beach, basically, and they do dolphin experiences. I think they like do some sort of like conservation thing every morning.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure if they feed them. I'm not 100%
We'll let you
sure.
know tomorrow.
But we missed that. We got here at like 10 o'clock. But we went out onto the jetty as soon as we arrived, and then there were literally 2 turtles just swimming around. And then the beach was so beautiful, and there's like a pool here, and we kind
just
of
made the decision because we were quite tired
that we're going to stay here.
just like spend the night here. So we went to the RAC reception. We booked a night on an unpowered site, so we're quite lucky that they still had spaces. It cost us $42 for the night for this car spot, but also if you come to Monkey Mire you have to pay $15 per person, which goes towards like the conservation and everything, like the research, I think. So we just decided to make the most of it because that lasts 24 hours, but we've literally spent the whole day on the beach, like watching pods of dolphins swim past. We've seen like 5 turtles. Like, it's just been glorious, basically. Like, the weather's been perfect, like warm but not too hot. Yeah, highly recommend.
Yeah, it's worth it to come here.
Except for the emus.
Oh yeah, gosh.
They are horrid.
We've had a couple of run-ins with the emus in this
There's so
area.
many of them.
And they're just like going into people's, like they don't care.
Tents.
They literally don't care.
No, it's like they're running on the beach, sniffing people's bags when they're in the ocean.
I don't know. They're kind of like the Australian versions of like monkeys in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, they are.
But thankfully, because they're so big, you can kind of like they're not as not as sneaky, are they?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's lovely here. I think we're going to treat ourselves and go and have some dinner at the restaurant here.
Yeah.
Also because I don't really fancy cooking a dinner with these emus hawking about. Like you'd be cutting up the peppers or something, and they come over and try and nab them off you. I don't know, but yeah, it's a lovely spot here. Definitely worth it. Like this is the sort of place that you come for like a little holiday I imagine.
Yeah.
Just come up here. There's a few more spots on this like
Shark Bay Peninsula, which is like the
one.
World Heritage Site. Yeah, there's a few stops. We decided just to drive straight here, and then like we'll see the spots on the way out, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
to break up the drive.
We'll see more tomorrow, and we can share all of that with you. But for now, like it's the evening, we're just sat in the shade. We've had a great day, and yeah, it's been beautiful.
morning. It's a very bright and sunny morning, as you can see from us squinting.
We slept quite well.
We did sleep well. We went to bed at like, I don't know, like 8:30 or something. Yeah. Woke up at like 6:30. It's a very good night's sleep. Obviously you don't sleep as well as you do in a bed, because I think it's just not quite as comfortable, so you're tossing and turning a bit more, that sort of thing. But
also we saw a couple of the more rare rock wallabies last night. They like snuck into the camp when the sun had gone down.
Yeah,
we didn't manage to film them, but...
we were literally like just about to go to sleep, and then just saw something like bouncing.
So that's cool. But today we are going to the dolphin experience, so that's obviously included with that $15 per person paid. So it runs at 7:45 AM. So we're heading down now. But yeah, we'll show you what's included. We went to the first dolphin encounter of the day. We've had breakfast, we've packed up and we've left. But we just wanted to talk a little bit about what we thought of the experience. I think we were like comparing it to our experience yesterday, where we were just sat on the beach watching pods of dolphins swim by. Like, they weren't being bothered by people or anything like that. It seemed a lot more natural. And today, like, there were so many people at that first dolphin feed. I think in comparison, yesterday was such a more preferable experience than this morning. I think, if I'm honest, like, I would recommend you do the same if you are coming to Monkey Mile. Like, skip the dolphin encounters and just come and spend the day on the beach. Like, you don't even need to stay at the RAC resort, but you could probably sneak in and use the shower, I'll be honest.
They said that once you've paid your thing to come in, you can use
the pool,
the facilities.
And the facilities. So, like, spend the day at the beach. If you're living out your car or you're camping or anything like that, have a shower and stuff, and just sit and like watch the dolphins and the turtles and enjoy like a slightly more natural experience. I feel like there's so many people stood on the shoreline, and we're not too sure about how we feel about them feeding the dolphins. Like, it is all very restricted, so they can only feed up to 4 female mature dolphins, and they can only feed them like a maximum of 10% of their daily allowance of food, so they don't become reliant. But like, realistically, we don't know why they're actually feeding them other than like tourist purposes.
It says that like it's like a unique opportunity to
study them.
Because I think some fishermen basically started feeding them
in the 60s.
And then continued doing it, but then like people realised that it was like actually a bad thing, because they were relying on the fishermen too much. And you know, kind of like it had a situation like with the whale sharks that we talked about when we were in the Philippines, where you know they're getting fed and it's like a tourist thing. They can't like go out and feed themselves.
It's like impacting those wild behaviours, and
But now obviously Megan did some research, and there's over like 200 dolphins in the Monkey Mile area, and they can only feed 4 of them.
Like, we saw so many yesterday that obviously aren't being fed, they just like live in the area, and it was amazing. But yeah, I just don't know how I feel about the feeding basically. And there was like lots of kids there like trying to splash the water and things like that.
It's just one of those things, like
it was still worth like the drive up, because yesterday was honestly like one of my favourite days we've had in so long. But yeah, in my opinion, skip the feeding and just come sit on the beach, and if a pod swims by, like, it's stunning and you'll have the best time. We stopped off at the little lagoon, which is near the town. That's a beautiful little spot. I would recommend a visit. Morgan tried to fly the drone, but it's like across the road from the airport, so
I didn't think of it, because there's not really like a lot of signage and stuff. But
and then we drove to Eagle Bluff Lookout. On the way, Morgan got breathalyzed by the police.
Yeah, it's weird. They kind of had some like random breathalyzing thing that they were doing for people, but
luckily all sober. And then from the Eagle Bluff Lookout, we could see like loads of rays, nurse sharks. It was really quite cool.
It was cool, yeah. And then because this area is like quite a sort of like a shallow sea, there's
and it's really calm.
Yeah, you can, because then there's lots of seagrass. It's actually like a common area for people to see dugongs, isn't it? But I think you'd have to sort of like actively like go out in a boat last spoke to you, we visited the lookout and then we went to Shelley Beach. Shell Beach, not Shelley Beach. Shelley Beach, where was Shelley Beach? We've definitely been to a Shelley Beach. Shell Beach.
Anyway.
The beach was made up of shells. It was a very beautiful spot. Like the flies also were really bad in like the car park, but when you got down by the water they kind of left you alone. So if you did want to like stop off and have some time there and you were like spending a couple of days down on that Monkey Maya Peninsula, that would be a really good place I think to go and have a swim and like sunbathe for a couple of hours. Afterwards we've literally just been driving. We filled up at the little Roadhouse petrol station at the very end of the peninsula, and then we continued further north up to Carnarvon.
Yeah, so we just did like a big dry food shop at Woolworths in Carnarvon and then filled up with petrol, just because we know that like groceries and things like that are just going to get more expensive the further north that we go. So
there's basically not going to be another Woolworths on our journey until we get to Broome, which I think is like
a few weeks away maybe.
Yeah. Like at least like 10 days away. So we've got all the like tin goods, like, you know, and like canned goods and bottles and whatever, and then we'll just have to get like chicken and cheese and stuff, like the fresh things, milk, like from the little IGAs. It's just a little tip that they are so much more expensive in the rural towns. So that's why we filled up on those sorts of goods, you know, like pasta, rice, etc.
Yeah.
So we're just basically heading north now up towards Exmouth, like getting as close as we can. Mainly because that town didn't really have anything going on in it other than the Woolworths, and there's no point getting to your campsites early on this leg of the journey. It's just going to be a roadside one, mainly because the flies are so bad during the day that you're literally just going to be sat in your campsite just being miserable. There was someone on the Wiki Camps one for the campsite that we're staying at tonight. Yeah, and it was like the flies are so bad, and then when the like sun goes down, then all like the moths come out, and you can't sit outside without getting depressed or something. Pretty much sums it up. But we're looking forward to our time in Exmouth. You know, we've got a nice place booked for like a campsite with like a camp kitchen, showers, etc. And then we've got the hotel after our tour that we'll be doing. We'll tell you all about what we're going to be up to in Exmouth in the next video, because we're really excited for this. It's
like a big bucket list thing for us.
Yeah, this coral coastline is supposed to have, you know, you could argue some of Australia's best snorkeling, bar the Great Barrier Reef, of course, and yeah, some of the best sea wildlife encounters that you can imagine. But yeah, we really hope you've enjoyed this video, basically coming from Perth to Exmouth. There's been a lot that we've done. It's almost
like 4 days
something like 10, 11, 12 hours of driving worth, so like, you know, over 1,000 kilometers. But yeah, we really hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please make sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one when we're in Exmouth.